Welcome in. We are going to be looking at nmplol or Nick Polom. He's in OTK network. And firstly, let's look at this. Nick might feel like he has a lot to prove. What might he feel like he has to prove? He might feel like he has to prove control in life. He has control. He might feel like he has to prove his worthiness, his deservingness, but he has nothing to prove, not even to himself. Um, he might want to prove that he is a person who can go, 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 go. And he might want to prove that he knows what direction he's going in life or what his identity is, or he might prove that he does know what love is in life. The way I said that is completely weird. So let's just move on to the next proving. He might feel like he needs to prove that he knows. He also might feel like he needs to prove that he is inspirational or he can be inspiring. Once again, there's nothing that Nick needs to do to prove anything. He is loved. He is enough. He is worthy without going above and beyond, without being even asked to do so. So let's see who Nick is. Nick is a person who does have a particular way in which he expresses his emotions. He does have this particular way in which he knows how to grow his environment or not. He also understands what is healthy for him or not, regarding relationships or people, places, and things. And he also does know what he is regarding the way he puts himself out there. A fixed way of how he puts himself out there. Did I just say that twice? Okay, so let's put this all together. Nick is a person who understands the perfect timing for which he needs to bring things out into the world because he will have gotten clarity over what is healthy for him. Because he does understand what is healthy for him. And he has nothing to prove. He has nothing to prove regarding control or if he needs to keep on going, going, going. There's nothing that you need to prove. You don't need to prove who you are or how inspirational you actually are. You just are inspirational. Now, because you're a manifestor, a lot of people have probably tried to put you in a cage or try to, round you up and keep you on the deck. Because a lot of people don't know what to do with manifestor energy. They try to control manifestors. So one thing that manifestors don't like is control. So I wonder if that's something that you don't like, Nick. Once again, because of this here, you are a person who requires clarity and time and patience in between making decisions. So if you make a decision when you're super excited or super angry,
Hello?
I bet you are going to regret hopping in on that so quickly. It's usually best for you to make decisions when you're out of a group so that you know what's correct for you and you have clarity. All right. We talked about all of the big geometrical shape thingies here, which are called centers. And I want to talk about these lines that are in here because those are just as important. Now, you are a person here who has the channel of recognition and design of focused energy. So there's a lot of different things that we could say about this. You just fantasize about things and just allow yourself to do that. You are a person who just wants to start things just for the sake of experience, and that's okay too. But regarding that, you need to make sure that you give your focus on one thing at a time, because otherwise, if you try to do 20 things at a time, it's just going to all be a weak version of what it could have been. So you are a person who does have this focused energy, and this energy is here to be recognized. People are going to call upon that energy for you or from you. Now, this is about, it says it right here, design of a jack of all trades, channel of transitoriness. You have this ability to be transitory. But also, you are jack of all trades, so you are a master of none. You know many different things, and that's great. Never try to push yourself to be that crazy expert at one thing, because you're just meant to know many things, and that's beautiful. So what's interesting about this complete set of lines that look like they jive up together is that you expect something to turn out a specific way, and you might blame the other because it didn't turn out that particular way. Okay, now let's look at this over here. This is called the channel of struggle, a design of being stubborn. So I wonder if the people around you call you stubborn. Now, the channel of struggle isn't about struggling. It's about knowing what we're struggling for. So when you are acting yourself, moving through what you know is worth fighting for, that is when you are going to be inspirational. That's when you're going to be empowering, is when you act yourself. Now, you are a person who does know when someone's lying. You are also a person who understands this nowness that other people don't have. You are in the now. You hear things that other people don't hear in the now. So, for example, you're really across the room and another person's on the opposite side, and they're talking and you just happen to hear them, and it's just because you're meant to hear that particular moment in the now. And the thing is that you can't make that nowness happen. It just happens in the now. There's no forcing of it. So I know that's just really weird to just say that way, but you know who has talent, and you do have this joy for life. Now, I do want to say that right here above my head, you can see the profile. It says 4-6. Now, what does that mean? You are a person who's about that brotherhood or that sisterhood, or, it's right in your guild name or network name. You are all about your network. You are all about the close few that mean a lot to you. And the close few that are allowed within your network, you give them a lot of chances, and if they fuck you over, they are never allowed back in your network again. Screw them. You gave them enough chances. So your brotherhood, your sisterhood, they do mean a lot to you. There are a few of your brotherhood, your sisterhood, and then beyond that, there's many. And I know it's quite obvious you're a mega streamer, so that just makes sense. This part of the profile, it changes throughout the day. It could be a 6 or it could be a 1, but either way, I'm going to name it as a 6, and now I'm just talking too much jargon. So what does that mean? You are a person who understands what's coming next, because you've already seen what's come. You're like a sage up on a mountain, seeing what's coming. The thing is that you've been wise since a very young age, and people have seen that in you, and you often wonder why people can't see what you see, and vice versa. People might wonder why you can't see what they see. Yeah, one step ahead. So That's a great thing about you, and it might be frustrating when people don't recognize that awesome like sageness about you. Okay, so let's talk about some other things here that I think are pretty neat. What do you need in your environment to thrive? You need to be able to research and investigate for you to thrive. Now, you are moving from being an influence to actually doing and experiencing things. So that's an interesting transition into your future. Now, what kind of people do you need around you in order to be successful? Well, you need hermits, people who don't want the drama, people who want to be away from everything so that they can work in peace. So yeah, Nick, you need those hermits in order to be successful. Now, what do we see here? Where do we see you moving? So we see you moving into, where's the 60? There you go. Into limitation. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's just that you'll know your limits. And that's okay because you've made progress and now you know your limits. We could talk about you for so long. There's so much more that we could talk about. We could talk about that there's only 2 4s in here, and that like there's so many 2s and 5s here and 6s and 1s over here. We could talk about all the attributes that describe who you are. We could talk about, your values. We could talk about the 3 different types of leaders that you are. We could talk about your ideas and your structure in life. We could talk about your needing to prove more. We could talk about you laying down and how your energy feels completely different when you lay down. We could talk about what cross you came in on and what it really means to you. What that means to you is like, are you a person of the mind? Are you a person of bringing things out into form? Or are you a person who is about bonding? Or are you a person who is all about finalization? So yeah, this is what your brain thinks you're doing. This is what your body is just walking around doing. And this is what you are together. So yeah, Nick, I would love to do something like this for you in the future or for Milena. Thank you so much for listening.